Do women get better with age? Why do older women feel like they're more valuable than younger women because they have experience? What is this? The best that I can say is that, the worst that I could say is that they're delusional, right? A woman's worth, as far as men are concerned, now maybe to this world it's a different story, but as far as men are concerned, a woman's worth, and particularly when it comes to love, relationships, and men, a woman's worth is in her loyalty to one man despite his success or not success, right? The best type of woman a man can get is a loyal woman, right? So the worst that I could say is that this is delusion, right? Because what she has to offer a man in relationships is loyalty, youth, fertility, okay? Even if you don't want kids, right? The more you're out there gaining quote-unquote experience as a woman, the more you're lowering your value. Women think that, I'm going to go, experience the world and do all this stuff. And what they end up doing is they end up sleeping around. And what does that do? It plummets their value, right? So when a woman is most valuable to this world, it's when she can love a man, right? Because we don't need any more competition in the workforce. We don't need any more competition in, any other aspect of life, right? Even, let's say it's not competition. Even if she can bring something to the table, what do most women bring to the table? Their sexuality. That's really most of what they have to offer. Now you could argue that women, they bring love and they they can be compassionate. They can be, but so can men. Men can be very compassionate as well. It's just that men are more used to being competitive because this is our role. Women are supposed to be nurturers, supposed to be taking care of children. That's their role. Our role is to be providers. So when a woman is compassionate, she's fulfilling her role. When a man is competitive, he's fulfilling his role. So if a woman is out there competing, she's actually acting like a man, right? So when women say, I've got experience and I'm gaining this experience in life, what she's really saying is that for all intents and purposes, I'm acting like a man. I'm running the race of life as a man. And we don't need that. That's not what we need. And this is a direct result of feminism. This is a direct result of the negatives that feminism has brought to this world, right? Feminism has told women that they can compete in the same way that men can. And that really hasn't helped humanity. Women are not cutting edge. They're not breaking the mold. They're trying to keep up with average men, and they really aren't doing a very good job of it. Really, the only angle that women have that edges out men is the fact that they have the power in the sexual and dating market. That's really the only thing they have over men. And women know this at their core. They can't beat us physically. Most of the time they can't beat us, as far as ingenuity is concerned, as far as bringing something to the table, as far as producing something, as far as career, work, scholarly, right? Intellectualism, this kind of thing. Very rarely. What women can do that a lot of men are not extremely affluent at is bring compassion. A lot of women have the ability to be a little bit more compassionate than men. But today that's arguable. Women are naturally more emotional, and because they're naturally more emotional, they can have the ability to be more sensible in terms of the emotional impact of interpersonal relationships, for instance, things like that. That's their potential, but a lot of times that they're more ruthless. A lot of times they're more practical, pragmatic than men are. A lot of times men are the ones who are very empathetic. Men are the ones who are very compassionate, which is strange. Because everything really, when you get down to the red pill of the matter, everything falls on men's shoulders, most of it. Because men are utility. Men are viewed as utility, and men have to make up for the lack, right? You call it whatever you want to. I think it's women have just gotten used to the groove. They've gotten used to just being able to sit back in the cut, pop out some kids, grab a guy who's got a good job and he's a good provider of resources, sit back in the cut and raise kids. They don't push themselves. They're not competitive like men are. And the reason why is because they don't have to be. Because they got that golden V. They're sitting on that golden ticket that all guys want. And they know it. All they got to do is stay in decent shape. Don't hit the wall too hard. And they're not even good at that. They're not even good at that. They can't even keep themselves in good shape. They can't even eat right and exercise. Many of them. Because they're brainwashed with this concept that, oh, because I'm a woman, anything I do is gold. I got the Midas touch. I poop golden eggs. Right? And this is why so many women are freaking out in their 40s when they're single and no guy wants them anymore. Oh shit. I wasted 20 years being a radical feminist, being a, carousel rider. The smart ones kind of wise up and say, oh, wait a minute, I can't do this forever. Oh, okay, I gotta settle for the best beta provider I could get. But women are not bringing anything to the table with experience. If you ever hear this, and I hear this a lot, actually, it's funny. It's funny. Women act like, oh, I'm experienced. Women do not get more wise with experience, per se. I mean, I would say a lot of women learn by mistakes that they make, but I don't even know if they learn. I think they, I don't know what the word is, but they they really just adjust. I don't know if they learn, they adjust. Oh, I can't keep, I got pregnant by 2 different thugs. I can't keep chasing thugs and bad boys. Oh, now I've adjusted, and it's, you're not really learning because the mistake is made, and it's such a mistake that it's detrimental to your children's future, your future, and they don't make the same mistake again, but they just adjust, and now they switch their game up, and instead of chasing the bad boys, now they chase they're like, okay, well, now I gotta throw my dreams out into the dusty wind, and I'm gonna go settle with this beta guy. He's not what I wanted. He's not my choice, but I got to go settle with this guy because now I got 2 kids from these bad boys. I got 2 thugs kids. So now I got to go, I got to hook up with this beta guy. So that's not positive experience, right? At best, a woman can become more wise as a parent, and she can pass down some wisdom to her children, but it's rare. If we read Proverbs about the virtuous woman, Solomon in the Bible makes it very clear that she's rare. Right? It's a rare thing. Let's see if I can find that verse on the virtuous woman. Well, anyway. I don't know if I want to look up the virtuous woman. We could look up the virtuous woman real quick, and then I'll get into how Solomon couldn't find any good women. So let's read both of that. I think it's Proverbs 31 where he couldn't find the good woman, and the virtuous woman is in, I want to say Proverbs, I want to say 16, but no, it is 31. Okay, so Proverbs 31 is the virtuous woman. Let's see. Oh yeah, well here you go. It even says it right here. Yeah, Ecclesiastes as well. Ecclesiastes 7:28. I have looked for other answers, but have found none. I have found one man in 1,000 that I could respect, but not one woman. So he couldn't, out of 1,000 people, he could find one woman, and this is King Solomon, allegedly the most wisest man that the earth has ever seen besides Jesus. he said he could find one man in 1,000 that he could respect, but not one woman. Ecclesiastes 7:28, it's right there. I mean, there you go. Since some people scoff at the Bible, but I found it in my life to be totally legitimate. Though I have searched repeatedly, I have not found what I was looking for. Only one out of 1,000 men is virtuous, but not one woman. Ecclesiastes 7:28. Let's see what Proverbs 31 has to say. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth find. I don't know. It's King James, but anyway, yeah, King James. The heart of her husband, trusts in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. How many women, can say that? She never do her husband evil, huh? How many women are out here cheating on their husbands constantly, right? She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. I'm assuming he means around the house, right? Because if the man has to provide, of course, it's a whole different ballgame now. Women are acting like men, and now you got to allocate chores and who's going to clean the house, and that's just a big clusterfuck. You don't want that. She rises, she wakes up, while it's still night, and gives meat to her household. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. She girds her loins with strength and strengthens her arm. She perceives that her merchandise is good. Her candle does not go out by night. So she's diligent. She's diligently working around the house. She's always improving, always providing for others, always making sure things are better, around the house. She's not lazy, right? How many of these women out here are like that? Right? Very, very few. I mean, these women out here aren't even close. They think they're divas, right? I mean, it's not even a ball game. It's just, anyway. I could go on, but you could read it. Proverbs 31, and it's just like, you can't find. How can you find? Where are they? Where's a woman like this? No. And the way that these women out here are talking like they're experienced. Oh, I'm experienced. I have this experience. No, you don't. You don't have the right kind of experience. You might have experience in a whole bunch of negative, dark, evil shit, maybe. But you don't have good experience, A woman's worth is in her purity. A woman's worth is in her loyalty, And we don't need men out here. We don't need more men out here. Right? They're not in the same race as us, and they shouldn't be. They're different. Their roles are different. But they want to be men, and it's like, it's a downfall of our culture. A woman can be a key, integral part of a family, not of society. Screw that. I'm talking about family. Now, families make up society. This is true. So in an indirect way, they're absolutely crucial for society. Women are crucial for society. My channel isn't just to bag on women. My channel isn't just to throw women under the bus. No. It's saddening that they don't know their role. It's saddening that they don't know how important they are to their children. When I was growing up, I had a few friends who had really good moms. Some were like, but I had at least one that I remember who was a really good mom. And I know that her being a good mom was very important for her son. And I could tell it was important for her son. And a lot of people don't even know what a good mom is. They think, oh, well, a good mom is just loving. No, every mom is loving. Every mom loves her child. Most. I shouldn't say every, because actually a lot of them don't. But many women love their children. Many women are all about their children. Okay? But it's something else to be wise, and it's something else to, really impart something into your children. And I don't think that can be replaced. A woman can give wisdom to her children. And what's sad is that so can a father, but the father's role is really just, relegated to security. He's just he's just a provider of security and resources, and that's it. And that sucks, because men should have wisdom as well. Wisdom is something to strive for. Wisdom is something that we should have in life. Wisdom is very good, because there's fruit that comes from wisdom. Fruit for the soul that comes from wisdom. And wisdom is not just, I learned some bad experience, I went through some bad experiences and I learned something. Wisdom is very intricate and deep. It's something that it has to do with knowledge, but it has to do with experience as well. And it has to do with, giving life to something. When you're wise, you project a certain aura, you project a certain energy, and that can be passed on to people around you. So how much more important is it for people to live a proper life? Because if your energy and your aura is transferred to people around you, the choices and decisions that you make are not just affecting you, they're affecting everyone around you. And we all have something unique to bring to the table, just individually, as unique human beings, personally. But we also have roles that we should bring. In my red pill journey, I've questioned the roles of men. But if I take a bird's eye view of the role that men play, it's not just resources that they're bringing. It's the ability to be diligent. That they're teaching their children how to be diligent. They're teaching their children how to compete. One of the things that I missed by not having a father who was successful really in life was I didn't know how to be successful. I didn't know how to compete. I didn't know how to compete in the sense where I'm not just competing with others per se. I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with my environment. I'm competing with the downward trend of I won't work today, or I won't do something today, or I won't do this. And I never really learned how to do that because I never had a father who was diligent day in and day out to show me that this is how men work. This is how men are strong. I never had that. And so for a woman, that's what a man brings to the table. So what does a woman bring to the table, right? Maybe compassion, maybe softness, maybe, to round out the father's hardness. She brings, some compassion or some softness to round out the father's sternness, so the children can be rounded out. So they're balanced. So they not only have the strength and diligence to work hard, to compete and to succeed, to have their own family, but they also have empathy and they also have compassion, right? So this is something that women could bring to the table, but they're too busy trying to compete with men. They're too busy trying to be men. They're too busy trying to compete in a male-dominated field, which is work. Men are supposed to work. And now women are saying, well, I have the privilege of working. Well, that's interesting, because work really isn't a privilege. It's actually a curse. If you read Genesis chapter 3, man cursed the ground. So working is tough. It's toil. And yet and feminism has convinced women to do it. And why? Why has feminism done that? Because feminism is satanic. And what does Satan want to do if not ruin the family unit? Why? Because the family unit is a representative of God. God created the family unit to honor him. And so much in today's world is aimed at corrupting and damaging the family unit, particularly feminism. I mean, we have alcoholism, we have drugs, we have the immoral lifestyles that are promoted in the music and the movies, right? These are all things that damage the sanctity and the loyalty and the honor of a marriage bond, right? This is why marriage is not working. This is why you got a 50-50 chance of your marriage ending in divorce. Because people are so corrupted by these other things. And on top of that, we have this lie, right? This manufactured delusion, or this manufactured deception called feminism, which is that women are just the same as men, which is patently untrue, patently not factual, not reality. Women cannot do what men do. They might be able to imitate, they might be able to have success in some of the same spheres in their own way, but only because we let them. First of all, if men really wanted to compete with women, it would be very difficult for women to beat out men in most fields, because they don't have most of them do not have what it takes to compete in that way, because men are the ones who have had to compete by nature, because we have to provide. There's no choice. A woman can choose to be a homemaker and stay at home while the man works if she wants. She's always had that choice. So really, for a woman to join the workforce or whatever is not a matter of necessity, not a matter of survival. It's a matter of choice. And because of that, they haven't had to adapt in the way that men have. And so they really can't compete, but we let them compete. And I'm not saying they don't do a good job in many fields. I'm not saying that they're not adequate in many fields. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're completely inept. Not at all. They're humans just like us. They can do most of what we can do. Maybe not better than us. That's arguable, but they can manage. I'm not saying women are not successful or cannot be successful. That was never my point. The point is that why not do what you're naturally supposed to do? Do what you're naturally good at. You could have so much wisdom. You could do so much in a different sphere than trying to do what men can do. And they want to compete with us. They want to race with us. And as I mentioned before, a lot of it just manifests itself in sexuality and deception, specifically using sexuality as a deception to get what they want, and then acting like that somehow that makes them independent. I mean that's just pure delusion. You are manipulating the system by using sexuality in an immoral way, by the way, in a way that it was not meant to be used, by the way. Your sexuality should be chaste and pure for one man. I'm not talking about even the concept of religion or being pure because God wants you to be pure. I'm talking about honoring and loving your husband and being pure for him and he being pure for you. Immorality is rife with problems. It's very problematic. And I don't need to go off on a tangent into that, but we all know that. But this is how they compete. And this is what they call experience. And this is their view of, I'm a bad bitch and I'm powerful because I can use my sexuality to, right? to get what I want, to get paid. And like strippers are somehow now deities. Strippers are somehow like winning the game. And it's like, no, you are just a product of a sick world. You are the expression of a sick world. You are at the core of what's wrong with this world. If we're paying women to, be immoral, when really they should be loving one man at home. But we don't have love anymore like that. It's all changed now thanks to feminism. It's all changed. It's all warped. So a woman, out here acting like they have experience, just like men have experiences, it's ugly. It's like, no, dear, no, you don't have experience and wisdom because you're single at 35. You're used goods. You are just warped. It's delusional the way you think. You're not like, I've been there and back, dear. Like, that's just, it just shows how dumb you are. Like, you should have quit before you started. Because a man having experiences is totally different. Because most men are not even good looking enough or tall enough or in shape enough to even have experience in that way. But yet women have all kinds of that experience. Oh, they're chock full of that kind of experience. And it's ugly, particularly for you to brag about it. Oh yeah, girl, I've been out here. You need to watch out for these kind of men and watch out for those kind of men. And it's just like, that's not what you want to be teaching the younger generation. You want to teach them how to love one man, how to be pure, how to be faithful to one man. Not, okay, well, these are the type of men you can manipulate and stay away from these men because they only want one thing, and don't chase the bad boys, you know, get yourself a guy who's got them. It's like, like, no, teach these other young women to find love, but you haven't done it. Teach these young women how to be loyal, but you haven't done it. You see? So they don't have the experience, the real experience, the proper experience. They have the warped experience from walking and living on the dark side. That needs to change, man, if we're going to have any hope for the future, for our humanity. But if you listen to my channel, you know me, I'm a doomer. I always say that, this is the end times, and this is why. Because these young women they got their freedom, and they're really living it up. They're really enjoying it because they have power in the dating market. They have power in the sexual marketplace. Yes, you can get what you want. You can go out here and get a bunch of men, and you know that men can't go out here and get a bunch of women, so you think you're more powerful than men. That is warped. That's warped. And then you want to turn around and act like men and women are equal when you're getting called on the carpet. Oh, men do it too. You know damn well men don't do it in the same way that you do it. You know damn well you have more power than men do. You're just not being honest. There's nothing honest about you in that sense. You're not being honest when it comes to the dating market. You know damn well men and women are not equal. You know damn well you have all the power. That you have all the options. You are the gatekeepers to sex. And they act like this is some kind of key that they have, some kind of, as if it's some kind of superpower. It's actually the opposite. It's actually something that drags you down. It's something to be ashamed of. And they think because, all men want is sex, and this is how they lie to themselves. This is how they delude themselves. No, we want families. We want love, but we were never offered that. Because you were too busy chasing Chad and Tyrone. You were too busy chasing the guys with money, chasing the guys